Hi everyone, my name is Gabriela from Tulip Art Designs and you are welcome or welcome back on my creative channel. In today's tutorial we are going to sketch the crocus, a very nice spring flower that I have in my garden, so I thought we can just sketch it. Let me just switch the camera and tell you about my supplies. So I have my watercolor sketching. So I have my watercolor sketchbook. It's with cold press watercolor paper, and it means that it has a little bit of texture and I enjoy it very much. Any watercolor paper will be enough. Some watercolor paints. I have my Mary Blue. You can use any watercolors. Probably the children watercolor sets will not do the job, but if that's the only thing you have, just go for it. I have round brush number 10. I also have the size 4. They are both round brushes with very nice tip. I have the ink pen. This is a water resistant pen, fine liner, which means that when I add watercolor on top of it, we will not ruin the lines, so the ink will stay on the paper as it is. I have some water, some paper towel, the Jelly Roll pen. I keep collecting my supplies from all over the table. You'll really see a very nice organized small part of my desk. Okay, now we can zoom in and start inking. I already sketched my flowers, but if you need the outlines, they will be available as a printable PDF on my Patreon, so I will link it below in case you want to check it out. After I have the pencil sketch, I usually go and sketch with my ink pen. So I really start with very light lines and tiny, and after that I can go back, add thickness to some of them. I really like the sketchy style, so I go back and forth with my pen. I will ink the side florals, one in the back and maybe one more here. These flowers are very simple to sketch. They have kind of a cone shape, and this is what I follow. This was the geometrical shape that I used in the beginning to create the illustration. So I am adding thickness to the sidelines. And if you like very smooth lines, you can draw smooth lines. If you like more sketchy style, you can just follow my steps and go back and forth with your ink. Just trace the lines in the way you enjoy it the most. It really has to be stress-free. So I don't want you to think about compositions, about literally anything. So you have the outlines already. I just did that part for you so you can trace and enjoy the drawing moment that you have for yourself. And it's very important. Lately it's so busy, at least I don't know, for me it's so busy. Everything is, you have so much information and so many things to do, and then all the resources that you read how to do stuff, and it is just so busy. So a small creative moment is always a good idea. Now I will add some leaves. The leaves are just very specific. They are very long and tiny. So this is what I am doing. Here I am just trimming the leaf just because it's behind the flower, and I am adding a second line just to create some deepness to my sketch. Like this. Let's sketch a few other leaves. So you could see that first I go very light with my pen, and if I like it, then I go and decide, I go back with my pen and decide where I can add some extra lines. For example, here on this side, a little bit of thickness or maybe some details. It's really, I really try to enjoy the moment. I don't want to create the perfect real painting. We are just sketching, and that's all, you know, what watercolor sketching is about, to just let it go, and even if it's not perfect, that's okay. And I know that there are lots of rules about shading and about the shapes and about the compositions. And you know what? It's all fine if we mess it up. This doesn't mean that we can't improve and develop and, you know, focus on all these things I just said to skip. But because I really try to teach you how to have fun and how to enjoy it and how to relax, for me it's definitely important to first learn how to let perfection go, and after that we can always bring back some stuff. But you know, if we think about perfection since the beginning, then we might end up a little bit frustrated or maybe really stressed that we are missing something. I hope this makes sense. I'm searching for my eraser. Give me a moment. Let me just erase the pencil lines, because once we add watercolor, we cannot really erase them. Okay, and then I will use my size 10 watercolor brush. If you feel that this is too big brush and you are a beginner, you can definitely get the smaller one. I will start with the flowers and I will drop in some water. Painting with water is the best exercise you can learn, especially if you're a beginner or especially if you are doing ink and wash style sketches. If you really want to make it fun and for relaxation. Now I'm searching where I can mix a little bit of purple. Maybe I can move my sketchbook a little bit to the side so you can see. I will use a little bit of blue and some of my pink. It's a Rose Lake, the color, and then I will throw it in and see what I have. I go closer to my ink lines and just add some color like this. And that's all. Okay, I will wash my brush and just add water on the other two flowers that I have. It's a very quick, very simple, and so relaxing for me when I just use this wet in wet technique. And it's a technique that it's definitely out of your control, and this definitely teach you how to not focus on the perfection. Something I really need to learn also, not only in painting but also in life. How to not focus on the small details but just to enjoy. Now if you want to bring some darker colors, you can do it, and I would definitely do this while it's still wet. Okay, if we want, we can add a little bit more pinky purple just for extra variation. So to my purple I just add extra rose color, so it gets a little bit warmer purple. Let's do our leaves. I will try not to touch my purple so it will not bleed in the leaves, but let's see. I will not stress out too much. I have already some green here. I usually like to mix hooker's green and green gold to have a very nice and rich green. Just pick the green you like. Sap green, olive green, any green that you love. And throw it in. I really enjoy how the paint just bleeds and creates very nice and soft edges. So this is when I have water, and you can see here when I don't have water, it's kind of a very nice and flat wash. These are both fine. Use whatever technique you like. We can make very light wash and then we can throw in some darker green. Just like this. Let me wash a little bit my brush and add water to my other leaves. Now here I will try not to touch the purple, but even if I do, that's gonna be fine. And then some green. So I just go and touch the water with the tip of my brush and some pigment that I have on my brush, and it just bleeds. Now here it will bleed probably less because it starts already to dry, and it's always a different result depending on how much water we have on the page. And these things we just learn with more practice and with the time. What we want to do is to just make different values of this green so the leaves look kind of a natural. Here I have too much water, that's okay. A little bit in the flowers. Then I will make one brush stroke here, and I am holding my brush a little bit horizontally, like in 30 degrees, and then I have this more like thicker brush stroke. I will add a bit more. I really want to have it a little bit darker. Then I will dip my brush in the water and only with wet brush I went a second time, touched the first brush stroke that was still wet, so it just bleeded and created this nice grass ground. Can I say it like this? We can throw in a little bit more dark green here in the top, and that's gonna be it. I think I will use a little bit of green for a few splatters. just like this. If you have such moment, I don't know if you can see here. So with the water, I touched my purple petal, and this is what happens. You just have extra water, and the water makes watercolor more transparent, and this is what happens also on the paper. So imagine on the palette, when you add water, the watercolor paint gets more and more transparent, so more light. This is also the same on the paper. We add extra water, the paint gets lighter. Okay, I will dry this using my heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, you can wait a little bit, because I want to bring back some highlights using the Jelly Roll pen. Okay, now that this is dry, I want to add a little bit of Jelly Roll pen. It's good if we wait a little bit for the paper to cool down, because otherwise the Jelly Roll pen doesn't really work very well. Then I just go in the petals and add some extra detail lines, and I add white where I have the darkest parts. So here I have quite dark, and I add highlights just like this, maybe one in the bottom, same for the other one. And why I'm adding it where I have the darkest parts, it's just because I am searching for a little bit of contrast. A little bit in the leaves, just one line. I don't want to redraw the whole thing. Just like this. Let me just put it in the center, and also a little bit here for the grass. I'm just adding some scribbles, maybe a few lines. That's gonna be it. I will call it done. I hope you liked it and you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for being here and following me for such a nice and creative challenge. Consider subscribing for my channel so you will not miss any of the coming videos. Check out the previous videos and paint along if you didn't do so. If you need the outlines, definitely jump on my Patreon page where you can get all of the PDFs. It's $5 a month, so it's quite accessible for everyone. And yeah, I think that's everything for today. I hope to see you next time, and have a great day. Bye.